Welcome back to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Starting lineups for this 7th grade contest as they're about ready to get underway. For Bushnell Prairie City, number 1, Carson Lieb. Number 2, Connor Palm. Number 5, Brett Havens. Number 10, Logan Ash, excuse me. And that is not correct. I apologize, as we did have a switch and it did not save. So I apologize for that. Starting for Ash will be number 4, Adrian Ruffin, and then Parker Guppy. For West Prairie, Austin Nelson, number 10, Matt Whitman, number 22, Braden Copeland, number 23, Eli DeCounter, number 32, and Jair Flora, number 41, will be starting for the Cyclones, and we're just about ready to go here. And underway we are with the first quarter of action for this contest between the 7th graders of West Prairie and the 7th graders of BPC. Copeland with 2 right off the bat for the Cyclones. He scored the first ones for the 8th grade team as well. He is a 7th grader. A lot of 7th grade names playing up on 8th grade. Tipped away. Picked up. It's going to be Ash. He looks like he might have traveled, but Guppy with it now. His shot's up and in. So Guppy gets the basket, knots it at 2 apiece here early in the first quarter. 5 minutes to go. And that one is Whitman on the basket for the Cyclones. Ruffin has it to Palm. Palm looks down low to Guppy. Guppy nearly travels, gathers himself back up, tries to get it to Ruffin, stolen away by Whitman. Whitman goes back the other way. He loses it and then gets it back into Nelson. Nelson gets it out to Copeland. Copeland's jumper is good. Six to 2. West Prairie with the lead now. Ash, the jumper, is off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Clark. Going back the other way by Copeland to Whitman for 3. It's off, no good. Tracked down by Nelson for West Prairie. Copeland's jumper's off, no good. Lieb with the rebound for BPC. 3:55 to go. 6 to 2 is the score. Ruffin has it go off his head. Out of bounds. Possession to West Prairie. It's Coach Harrison. Has a conversation with Adrian Ruffin. Copeland has it. Gets it to Whitman. Whitman has it knocked away by Ruffin. Picked it back up. Skips it across to Copeland. Picked up by Lieb. Into DeCounter. Nice feed from Copeland to DeCounter. And it makes it 8 to 2. Cyclones with the lead. Ash. Jumper's off, no good. DeCounter picks it up off the floor, gives it out to Copeland. Copeland's going to push it up. And it's going to be on the floor. Finally saved by Copeland into Clark. Out to Whitman. Whitman's going to drive now. He gets it down to DeCounter. Now Whitman from about 17 feet. His jumper short, but rebounded by Clark. His shot's off, and Guppy with the rebound for BPC. 2:51 to go now in the first quarter. Ruffin for 3. It's off, no good. Rebound to Palm. Palm shot's up, off, no good, but he's going to be fouled. Foul's going to be on number 20, Ryan Clark. His first, team's first. Free throw line shooting 2 for BPC, number 2, Connor Palm. And that brings us to our first COVID timeout. With that, we'll take a break. Cyclones lead 8 to 2.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helps me reach peak performance
in the weight room.
Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, "You better come home because there's no roof." He said, "I look up and see the sky." He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
And we come back with Palm at the free throw line to shoot his 2 free throws. 2:44 to go. First one is good. Eight to 3 is the score. Second free throw is good as well. Checking in for BPC, number 34, Braxton Rhodes. Three on the way by Whitman is short, picked up by Havens. Guppy to Ruffin. Ruffin to Lieb. Lieb's going to put up the 3. It's off the backboard, off the front of the rim, no good. Possession to the Cyclones as Eddington's going to take it back the other way. His shot's partially blocked, and then it's going to go off of Eddington out of bounds as he tried to get it back from Lieb. It'll go possession back to BPC. 2:15 to go here in quarter number 1. 8 to 4 is the score. Now the pass intended for Havens is stolen away by Eddington. Eddington to Whitman, back to Eddington. It's off no good, and then a jump ball is going to be called. Possession will go to BPC. As to counter, Eddington, Rhodes, and Havens were all there. And got a couple subs coming in. Palm and Ash checking in for BPC. As Ruffin and Lieb will take a seat. 1:56 to go in the first quarter. Guppy on the drive. Nice little take. Little shots up off, no good. Going to go off of Guppy out of bounds to the Cyclones. Whitman to inbound. He'll get it into Cordell. Cordell's going to bring it up the floor for the Cyclones. 1:35 to go here in the first quarter. Eddington near side, guarded by Havens. He's going to drive around Havens, lose the ball momentarily. He's going to pick it picked up by Rhodes. Rhodes gets it to Guppy. Parker Guppy playing the point for BPC, but it's going to be Whitman stealing it away, and his layup is good. 10 to 4, the score. Long 2, off no good by Guppy, rebound to Eddington. Whitman with the drive, reverse layup's no good. Flora with the rebound. They're going to call a foul on BPC as they were hacking at the ball. Flora had the rebound. It's going to be on number 34. That's Zach Rhodes, his first. Team's first. Nelson going to inbound it forward to the Cyclones. Old Sam sitting over there with his legs crossed, arms crossed. It might be a sign of malcontent as he gets up and kind of gives the team a what for on the sideline. Ruffin with it. Going to drive, and his shot is blocked by Cordell out of bounds. Possession to BPC, 26.1 seconds remaining. And a travel is going to be called after the BPC turnover. Travel to the Cyclones. Ruffin with it now for BPC. Tries to get it to McKim. It's going to be taken away by Cordell. 5 seconds remaining. Cordell's going to drive. His shot's good. And that's how the first quarter will end. 12-4 is the score. Cyclones lead BPC. Up to bring you this contest on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Is Heil Enterprises and Heil Trucking. Heil Enterprises and Heil Trucking can take your product down the road, near or far, and also offers top-notch heavy-duty truck and trailer repair. The second-generation business continues to grow and continues to support BPC Athletics. Stop by and see Danny or Travis at Route 41, south of Prairie City, or call 309-775-3333. And McDonough District Hospital, thank you for voting McDonough District Hospital Rehabilitation Center is the best of the best in McDonough County. Let their experienced and dedicated sports medicine and rehabilitation staff show you why MDH has been the best of the best in 2017, 2018, 2019, and again in 2020. 3 convenient locations to serve you, 2 in Macomb and 1 in Bushnell. So we're ready to get underway with the second quarter of play here. 1 foul apiece, and the Cyclones lead 12-4. Three on the way by Eddington's off, no good. Nelson with the rebound. Inlet pass for Flores taken away by Guppy, picked up by Ruffin. Ruffin gets it down to Palm. Palm tracks it down. Pump fake, puts up the shot. It's blocked by Eddington, out of bounds. Possession to BPC. If anything is the difference in this contest, I know that Cyclones are a pretty skilled team, but they just have such a huge size advantage over BPC in the 7th grade contest that they didn't show in the 8th grade contest. Guppy with it. He has it underneath the basket, can't do anything with it, gets it out to Ruffin, but Cordell is going to steal it. Out to Eddington it goes. Eddington's going to drive, and he's going to run over McKim. Blaine Eddington is going to pick up the foul, his first, team second, and Ethan McKim was camped down there. He did a great job. He didn't flinch. He just let Eddington run into him, and he picked up the charge. So good job for McKim. Palm will bring it up for BPC. 5:20 to go in the first half. McKim, the jumper, and he's going to be fouled by Flora, I believe. We'll wait and see. It is on number 41, Jair Flora, his first, team's third. At the free throw line to shoot 2 for BPC is number 51, Ethan McKim. First one's off, no good. Checking in for BPC is number 10, Logan Ash, as he was tying his shoe and kind of was stuck in the middle of it. Didn't think he was going to get in that quick. So Rhodes is over there to check in as well. If McKim makes this, he'll have to come out. We'll see if he does. He does not make it, so we'll stay with the clock running here. Rhodes will have to wait. 5:05 to go. Now Ash tipped it away momentarily. Cordell took it up, and then Ruffin's going to get it, and that'll bring Rhodes into the contest. And McKim will take a seat. Well, we're going to let Nelson take it out as Clark takes a seat into the ball game for West Prairie's Hunter Jackson. Into Flora, went right through his hands, possession to BPC. I think he touched it, but he didn't touch it by much, so it'll go to the other side of the floor to come out. 4:59 to go in the first half. Havens checks in for Lieb. Ruffin with it to bring it up for BPC. 4:55 to go in the first half. On the dribble, still Ruffin. He has it stripped away by Nelson. He'll take it back the other way. Ruffin steals it away, and then Nelson's going to pick up the foul. And this will be the extended timeout, so we'll take a break as well. West Prairie leads BPC 12-4.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
So we'll be back. That was not the COVID timeout, as I like to call it. That was actually the timeout charge to BPC. Stolen away by Eddington. Back the other way. Ruffin puts a hand and starts pushing, and he's going to pick up the foul, and Eddington's going to be shooting 2 free throws. That'll be the first foul on Adrian Ruffin. Team's second. Eddington at the free throw line to shoot 2. Nobody scored this quarter until then. First points of the quarter for either team. Ruffin's going to take a seat. Lieb checks back in. 4:24 to go. 13-4 is the score. West Prairie with the lead. Flora's got it. He goes back up, and that should have been a jump ball. And they're going to call a foul finally. Not sure if that's Guppy down there. It is Guppy. He'll pick up the foul. Foul on Guppy. Team foul number 3 for BPC. It's going to be inbounded. Palm's going to check in for BPC. Cordell's going to end in. Or inbound, I should say. Right to Flora. Flora's going to have it tied up with Guppy in possession to BPC. The counter is going to replace Flora in the starting lineup, or in the lineup that's on the floor, I should say. 4:15 to go here in the first half. Palm with the basketball for BPC. Rhodes for 3. It's off, no good. Rebound to Havens. Havens is going to have it taken away by Eddington. Eddington's going to lose it, and then Rhodes is going to run over Eddington, and Rhodes is going to pick up his second foul. Team's 4th. McKim's going to check in for BPC. Ruffin and Ash going to check in as well. Rhodes will take a seat. Lieb will take a seat. And Havens will take a seat. 3:56 to go in the first half. This has slowed down a little bit here in the 7th grade game. Nelson has it. He puts up the shot, and he's going to be fouled. It's going to be on Guppy, I think. McKim was straight up and down. I'd hate to see it called on him. It is on Guppy. His second. I have him for 5 team fouls. Free throw line shooting 2 for West Prairie is number 10, Austin Nelson. First free throw rattles around and falls off, so he'll get his second. Second free throw off the back of the rim, no good. The counter with the rebound, and then a jump ball to be possession West Prairie. Still just 1 point scored here in the first half of this one, and we had quite a bit of scoring in the second quarter. In the first quarter, we had quite a bit of scoring. It's 13-4. There's a Bass shot on the way off, no good. McKim with the rebound. We're nearly a third away. We're over a third of the way through the quarter, nearly halfway. and we haven't scored any baskets yet. McKim's going to get one right there, though. Ethan McKim gets the bucket to fall. And it's a 13-6 game now. And then McKim's going to foul Cordell, who was driving to the hoop. Foul is on McKim, his first. Team 6th unofficially. That'll put Cordell at the free throw line to shoot 2. And it'll put West Prairie in the bonus from here on out. Checking in for West Prairie is going to be Copeland and Clark. They'll replace Jackson and Nelson. Cordell missed the first. Get the second one here. It is off the back of the rim, no good either. Palm with the rebound for BPC. Reached that 3:10 mark of the second quarter. Ruffin's going to, well, he looked at the three, didn't take it. Going to try and drive, loses it. Addington's going to go back the other way for West Prairie. Beats Palm to the spot. Oh, nice defensive play by Palm to reach in there and tap it away just as Addington was starting to go up. And we will take that aforementioned COVID timeout here. We'll be right back on TSSR Game Time Live right after this.
As we work together to stop the spread of COVID-19, McDonough District Hospital wants you to know that your health and safety are our #1 priority.
Our primary care providers are here to take care of you and your family's total well-being. Telehealth capabilities and the MDH Convenience Clinic all provide ease of access to our wide range of services.
All of this because we are committed to providing you quality and compassionate care that you have come to trust from us.
McDonough District Hospital. More than hospital care, a hospital caring.
Get dinner to the table quickly, no matter how busy your day's been. True Convection Cooking uses a fan to distribute hot air evenly and cook food faster. So dinner is ready when they are. True Convection Cooking. Brought to you by Whirlpool.
Welcome back to BPC High School, 13-6. The score, West Prairie with the lead. And we will have it inbounded to the counter underneath the basket, bouncing around, hot potato, hot potato. Clark's going to finally come up with it, and he's going to get the shot to fall. Ryan Clark. I know a Ryan Clark. It's not the Ryan Clark I knew before today, though. It's the first basket of the second quarter for either team. That's not true. McKim got one just a few minutes ago. So first basket of the quarter for the Cyclones. Addington on the dribble is going to get it out to Copeland. Copeland looks at the three, doesn't take it. Goes into the left block for the counter, who finally comes up with it, and he'll get the shot to fall. Give the counter 4 points on tonight. And it's 17-6. 2:05, shots off, no good. Addington going back the other way now. He loses the ball, and it's going to be another jump ball. This one's possession to Addington, and Rhodes were fighting for the ball. Rhodes got kicked in the back of the head. The counter is going to take a seat. Rhodes is going to take a seat. Rhodes keeps rubbing the back of his head. It felt not so good, it would appear. The official told them to stop at the whistle because that kick and fight after the ball came after the whistle was blown for the jump ball. Ash with it now with 1:45 to go. His shot's off, no good. Copeland with the rebound for West Prairie. A baseball pass down floor. Down the court to Cordell. Goes out of bounds. Ruffin, Guppy, and McKim checking back in for BPC. Clark, number 12, Aiden Percy on the floor for the first time for the Cyclones, as is number 24, Braden Gray. 17-6. Palms pass, stolen away by Copeland. He's going to go down the floor. Layup is good. Ruffin's running one-handers off, no good. going to be Percy with it. Percy's going to have it a pair of twos, or a 2 and a 1, I guess. 12 and 2 fighting for it on the floor with jump ball. And it's going to be possession to West Prairie with 1:07 to go here in the first half. Percy to inbound. He'll get it into Copeland in the backcourt. Cordell with it, right wing. Off of the feet of Gray, but picked up by Cordell. Cordell's going to drive. Put up the shots, off no good. McKim with the rebound. He'll give it to Guppy, and we'll go back the other way for BPC. They trail 19-6 to the Spartans. Palm with it. Palm's going to put up a long 2, I think. It's an air ball. Grabbed out on the far side of the rim by Copeland. Copeland goes down to Gray. His shot's off, no good. Clark with the rebound. Jump ball. Possession back to BPC. 29.8 seconds remaining. Checking in for West Prairie is going to be number 21, Levi Gossage. He'll replace Clark as they try to get a few subs in here at the end of the first half, leading 19-6. Ruffin with it now for BPC as he pushes it up the floor. Tries to get it to McKim, taken away, gets it back to McKim again. McKim's shots up and in. All 4 BPC points of the quarter have belonged to McKim. Copeland with it on the wing, 10 seconds remaining. And shots blocked again, as it was Gossage going up for the shot. Guppy with the rebound, or the blocks, and he's going to put up the long shot. It's off, no good. And that's how the first quarter will come to a close. The BPC Spartans trail West Prairie 19-8 at the half. And we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, in just about 30 seconds.
During this COVID pandemic, it is important you take care of your health, especially your heart health. Do not ignore the signs of a heart attack or stroke. If you have health concerns, schedule an appointment with your provider, and always, in case of an emergency, call 911. This message brought to you by McDonough District Hospital and Blessing Health System. See for yourself why Blessing Health System is the leader in cardiology and pulmonology services. Appointments available inside MDH. Learn more at blessinghealth.org or mdh.org.
Welcome back to BPC High School, 19-8 at the half. I'm going to bring you this contest here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Is Bushnell Banking Center. Bushnell Banking Center, located at 360 South Green Street in Bushnell, offers full-service banking and loan services to fulfill all your banking needs. Come visit the bank of friendly service or call them at 309-772-2345. Good luck, Spartans. Bushnell Banking Center is an equal housing lender and a member FDIC. In Hensley Grain. Hensley Grain, as in rural Bushnell, has a long family history of taking an active role in the Bushnell Prairie City School District and especially Spartan athletics. Good luck, Spartans, in 2021, and enjoy this shortened athletic campaign. And Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell, for over 100 years, Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell has been servicing the local community's needs for personal and business banking, as well as home and agricultural lending. It also has its Good Trust Department. Stop by the main branch at 484 East Main Street or the drive-up facility on Cole Street to learn more. F&M is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Well, something we were going to try last night, but we were not able to get to it, is the BPC Pep Band, of course, with all the COVID restrictions, have not been able to be in attendance at any of these games, but they were able to record a few songs for the folks to listen to. They'll be played at the BPC games, but we're going to play one of their songs here. This is the BPC Band and their rendition. I believe this one will be Woolly Bully. I'll play just a couple minutes, and we'll be back to talk about some stats here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. That was the BPC pep band, as it is now, unfortunately, as they are unable to be here with us in person, but they played a couple songs and recorded them, and hopefully they'll get to maybe be at the football games, or if nothing else, do some more recording and go from there. But great to have a little bit of music from them, and it's been a tough year for everybody, that's for sure. So looking at scoring in the first half, as I said, 19-8 as it shows on the scoreboard at the end of the first half of play. It's 2 points for Brody Cordell for West Prairie, 1 point for Blaine Eddington, 2 points for Ryan Clark, 4 points for Matt Whitman, 6 points for Braden Copeland, and 4 points for Eli DeCounter. For BPC, 2 points for Connor Palm, 2 points for Parker Guppy, and 4 points for Ethan McKim. He's got the only 2 baskets of the second quarter. Spartans are 2 of 4 from the free throw line. The Cyclones are 1 for 6 from the charity stripe. And with that, we'll take a short break, and we'll be back here with more halftime festivities. 19-8 is the score. BPC trails West Prairie.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
McDonough District Hospital's Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center was built for one goal: to strengthen women's health services in the region's premier facility. Our dedicated staff, past and present, delivered generations of MDH babies, and now in the new Women's Center, our staff is ready to deliver the next generation and beyond. Come visit the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center and see for yourself the MDH difference.
Welcome back to Bushland Prairie City High School. We brought Sam back under the headset for a few minutes, and when I asked you if you want to get back under the headset, one of the first things you mentioned is the size differential. BPC kind of had the size advantage in the in the 8th grade game, not so much here in the 7th grade game.
Yeah, you know, some of these kids out here, I was talking to Mr. Harrison before the game, and some of the guys are playing for their first year, you know, and Mr. Harrison's just working to get these guys, you know, into the fundamentals of basketball, just starting off here, so.
When did you start playing basketball?
I think 3rd grade was my first year.
Yeah, so if you can learn to dribble in 3rd grade, you have a big advantage over a kid that's trying to learn to dribble in 6th or 7th grade, aren't you? Don't you? Yeah, that's. I know that just understanding the idea of running an offense for Mr. Harrison's group in the 7th grade level is something that, you know, in this day and age, you don't really expect that to be a problem. When I was a kid, or your dad was a kid, you know, we kind of started. I think I might have played a 4th or 5th grade traveling team, and we played rec ball, but you played a little bit, but it was almost like you're playing in your backyard. You know, it wasn't like they do now. But in this day and age, you don't expect there to be 6 kids on your team, first of all, probably, and then you don't expect 3 of them to not having really played organized basketball before either. It has to be a challenge that he has not seen for a long time.
Yes.
So you got 6 players. How many kids did you have playing in 6th and 7th grade? Do you remember?
I'd say we had around 10 or 12 or so, you know. But yeah, we had a pretty good group back in 7th and 8th grade. So.
Remember a few years ago they had to do cuts, right? They had to cut kids off teams and
we actually
tryouts.
In junior high we had almost 40 kids try out for probably the 7th and 8th grade team. So
yeah, that's the way it was when I played too. We had tryouts every year as well.
Yeah.
Things have changed. The thumbs get much more work on controllers now than they did when I was a kid. And even though you're a junior, but that just gets more and more progressive as it goes along.
Yeah.
For the younger kids, I should say. Well, I guess we're ready to go here. It's going to be Cyclones basketball to start the second half. Sam, thanks for joining me for a few minutes, and we'll got 12 more minutes of basketball. I think you can handle it.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be Moving forward here with basketball as the Cyclones open the second half of play with the basketball. And I will move that to the third quarter because that's what we're in. And we are underway. 5:50 to go here in the third quarter. The counter gets it down to Copeland. Copeland spin move with the left hand's off, no good. Rebound to Whitman, down to the counter. Nice little cross lane pass. It's going to go off of Guppy, I think, out of bounds. Possession to the Cyclones. So it's inbounded out. Nice inbound play to, can't see who that was over there. Clark, I think. No, it was Nelson. Missed the shot, though. Eddington with it. Now to Whitman. Whitman's going to drive. They're going to lose it out of bounds. Possession to BPC. Well, we got a broken mask, I think, for the counter over there. He's got to go get a different mask, so he has to leave the ball game. Flora's going to check in for him. Ruffin on the drive, and he's going to be tied up. It's going to be BPC basketball. Much of an offensive set there, just driving the lane. Hope something works good. Guppy to inbound. He's going to get it into Ruffin. Ruffin has it knocked away by Eddington. And another jump ball as Copeland and Lieb go on the floor after it. And possession to West Prairie. Checking in for BPC, number 5, Brett Havens. Ash is going to take a seat. McKim comes in now. And Palm's going to take a seat. A nice look from Flora down low. I think that was Nelson down there. He missed it, got his own rebound, put it back up again, and that time it falls. Nelson gets the first 2 points of the third quarter. Gosh dang it. Sorry about that, folks. Just having a frog in my throat the whole game here. I can't seem to get rid of it. McKim comes up with the rebound. Lieb with it. He couldn't quite control it. It goes out of bounds. Possession to the Cyclones. 4:15 to go. Here in the third quarter, 21-8 is the score. Guppy's going to steal it away on the inbounds. It's a little lackadaisical, and then Whitman's going to take it back away from him. And then Guppy's going to pick up the foul, and they're going to call it an intentional foul. Guppy's going to pick up his third. 2 free throws and possession as Whitman's going to get 2 free throws here. They called the intentional foul on Guppy. 21-8 is the score. 4:10 to go. First free throw by Whitman is short. Second free throw coming. It's good for Whitman. Makes the score 22-8. One foul for BPC. Whitman still on the going to be Lieb on the shot off, no good. Ruffin with the rebound for BPC. Tries to get it out to somebody. Finally gets to McKim. McKim's going to put up the shot. It falls through. A good basket by McKim, and that makes it 22-10. Whitman's going to drive. Nobody stops the ball, and an easy layup from the left side for Whitman. Ruffin with the ball. I think the foul was on number 10, Nelson. The first foul for West Prairie. It's going to be Copeland with it after Whitman got the steal, and then Copeland spun with it. Ruffin comes down, steals it away. Whitman steals it back away from him, goes in for the layup. His shot's off, no good. Flora with the rebound. Flora gets hammered, no foul call. Gets the ball back, puts it up again. It's off, no good. Copeland with the rebound. Still Whitman. He gets mugged out there by Palm. Palm's going to steal it away, though, and well, they are letting them play here now. As I'm going to call a travel with 2:46 to go, and that should be the COVID timeout. And we'll be right back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. 24-10 is the score here at BPC High School.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helps me reach peak performance.
In the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. They didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
And we're back just like that. It'll be BPC basketball after the COVID timeout. 2:46 to go in the third quarter. 24-10 is the score. It's going to be Palm bringing it up for BPC. Ruffin with it. Clock is running here in the third quarter. Flora tried to take it away, then Copeland is going to knock it out of bounds. That might have actually went off Palm's hand, but it's going to be BPC basketball nonetheless. 2:30 to go in the third quarter. McKim, turnaround shot off, no good. Rebound picked up off the floor by Eddington. Taking it down the floor. He's going to be pushed by Ash. No foul call, and it's going to be Palm picking it up, and then Eddington is going to get called for the foul on the reach in from behind. Second foul on Eddington. Lieb going to check back in for BPC. It's a second team foul for the Cyclones as well. Being told that Charlie Zimmerman is number 24. Who made that, Sam? Lieb with the three. Sorry about that, folks. I was trying to correct a couple things here. Steal by BPC. Goes back the other way. Shots off, no good. 24-12 is the score. Running shot by Cordell's off, no good. And then Copeland had the rebounds. Shot blocked by McKim. Ruffin now is going to go the other direction, and his shot's going to be blocked by Eddington out of bounds. That is right. I'm sorry. I forgot they changed that number on me late in the contest. Charlie Zimmerman is number 24. Timeout on the floor charged to BPC. It is a 30-second timeout. So, Ryan Zimmerman, I apologize for that. As soon as you told me that, I remembered that let me see who was it in the first game. Reynolds and Zimmerman apparently switched jerseys since either switched or got different jerseys handed to him, whatever the case may be, before when the roster I had. So I apologize for that, guys. But I'll try to get it correct the rest of the way here. You're listening and watching BPC Spartan Sports on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I'm going to bring you this contest of Webb Family Farms. Webb Family Farms has been growing corn, soybeans, and Spartans for 5 generations. Nathan, Lisa, Jamie, Cyrus, Terry, and Linda wish all BPC athletes good luck this season. Was that McKim? That was McKim, I do believe, on the basket. BPC starting to close the gap a little bit here. That shot's off, no good. That was Copeland. Go back the other way now. Palm for 3. It's good. (24-17) is the score. Spartans trail by 7 after a little rally here at the end of the third quarter. 35 seconds remaining. Cordell with it. Eddington now, 20 seconds, or make that 29 seconds. Palm with the steal, and a chance for another last shot and cut this to a 2-possession game. Rhodes is going to drive, loses the ball, gathers it back up, gives it to Palm. Palm is going to pull up from about 17 feet. It's a short. McKim with the rebound, and he's blocked, but it's going to be Cordell with the foul. Be his first. And McKim's going to be shooting 2 free throws. First one's no good. Lieb's going to check in. Second one is good. And a foul is going to be charged to Palm. His first. Team second. BPC's Palm had the foul, and the referees tried to give BPC the basketball. Out of bounds with 6.8 seconds left. 24-18 is the score. 6-point advantage now for West Prairie, who had led by 12 earlier. Copeland for 3. It's off, no good. And with 1.8 seconds left, it's going to be BPC basketball. That's how the third quarter will end. BPC has cut the lead to 6, 24-18. Helping to bring you this contest here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, is M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store. Will be celebrating its 60th anniversary in June. M&B Furniture is a mainstay in the community and offers top-notch customer service, free delivery within 40 miles, and the best in-home appliance repair in the area. For everything you need to furnish your new home or replace or replenish an old one, stop and see the fine folks at M&B Furniture, 481 West Main Street, or find them on Facebook, Instagram, or on the web at www.mnbfurniturinc.com. You can also call 309-772-2111. And the fourth quarter getting ready to go here at BPC High School. It's going to be Palm. Look, the drives, pulls up, gives it to Ruffin. Ruffin has it stolen away by Eddington. Eddington now is going to drive past Palm. And then he's going to be fouled by Palm as they come down the floor. Palm's going to pick up his second foul. Team's third. I have it as their fourth. We'll see if I'm... Take it back down. It's inbounded, knocked out of bounds by Lieb. Possession to the Cyclones. Inbounded to Flora, tipped away by McKim, picked up by Palm. Palm on the dribble still, gets it to McKim on the baseline. His jumper is good. Four-point game, 24-20. Fourth quarter action here. We've got 5:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. Spartans are on about a 10-0 run now as Eddington's going to drive in and throw it out of bounds. Possession to BPC. Checking in for BPC is number 10, Logan Ash. He'll replace Palm. Palm's had a good fourth quarter. So it's 24-20 now. BPC with the basketball, trailing by 4, 5:07 to go. Ruffin's going to drive, dump it out to Ash. Ash now looking for somewhere to go with it. Going to try to get it to Ruffin, who tried to look for Guppy, but it's knocked out of bounds by Cordell. It's going to be BPC basketball. Checking in for BPC is number 34, Braxton Rhodes. And also checking in for BPC is number 2, Connor Palm. Inbounded to McKim. McKim gets it out to Ash. Ash up top to Lieb. Lieb goes over to Rhodes. Rhodes back to Lieb now up top. Left wing to Ash. Ash is going to try and drive. Rhodes is open down low. Posted up. Got it. Goes to McKim. McKim puts up the shot. It's off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound to Nelson for West Prairie. 4:30 to go in the basketball game. Cordell with it now. Nelson has it. He can't dribble. Back to Cordell. Cordell's going to drive now. Tries to go around Ash, and they're going to call Ash for the foul. He stuck both hands out in front of him. Kind of stopped him. Probably could have just let him go. Foul is on Ash. It's his first, team's fourth. Two shots coming for Cordell. Brody Cordell. First one's off, no good. Checking in for BPC is Ruffin and Havens. They'll replace Rhodes and Lieb. 4:17 to go. Second free throw coming for Cordell now. 4-point game. Second free throw is good. Ruffin's going to get called for the travel. Checking in for the Cyclones, number 22 is Matt Whitman, and number 32 is Eli DeCounter. Checking in for BPC is going to be Guppy, replacing McKim. McKim's had a great game. 11 points unofficially for McKim so far. 4:10 to go here in the basketball game. It's a 5-point advantage for West Prairie, who led by as many as 12 of just a few minutes ago. BPC had it cut to 4. Now Flora has a nice inlet pass from Whitman. And Jair Flora gets his first 2 points of the contest. Back to a 7-point game. Palm has picked up. He gives it to Ruffin. Ruffin now goes down to Ash. Ash puts up the jumper. It's off short. Rebound off the floor to Flora, and it'll go back the other way to Whitman. Now he's going to get it down court to DeCounter. DeCounter's going to go to the lane. His shot's up off front of the rim. No good. Rebound to DeCounter. Shots off again. Flora with the rebound. He puts it up. It bounces around and falls off. Flora's going to save it. Nope, he's going to step on the baseline. Now McKim, Rhodes, and Lieb all checking in for BPC as they're going to replace. Need a couple more players. Need one more player to come off. You got 6. You got 6. You got 6. Brett Havens has got to come off. I mean, you could play with 6 if they'd let you. I mean, that'd be a great advantage, I suppose. But the other team would probably frown upon it. I mean, just a guess, but I'm guessing they would probably frown upon it. So here comes Palm with the basketball. Gets a pick. Well, he's going to have a pick by McKim. And McKim's cutting it. Oh, there goes Guppy. Guppy, a little running one-handers up and in. Parker Guppy gets his second 2 points of the contest. And he cuts it back to a 2-possession game, 27-22. Now Copeland with it. His shots up off no good. McKim tracks down the rebound. Palm with it. Be Rhodes with it on the right wing now. He looks to drive. And Rhodes' pass is taken away by the counter. Foul's going to be on Rhodes. Foul's going to be on Rhodes. That'll be his third. And we'll take the extended timeout here. 27-22. BPC trails the Cyclones on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helps me reach peak performance.
In the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
Welcome back to BPC High School. Fourth quarter action. 27-22, the Cyclones lead BPC, but it's gotten a lot closer here in the last 6 minutes of basketball. BPC has stepped things up. A lot has to do with Ethan McKim. Unofficially, Ethan has 11 points in the contest. It's inbounded, and now it's going to be Flora with the shot. It's off no good. He gets his own rebound, and it's going to come out to Eddington, and Eddington is going to throw across Copeland. Copeland left elbow jumper is off no good. Long rebound to Palm, and he's going to take it back the other way for BPC. Chance to cut it to a single possession game here as Copeland, a nice defensive play, swipes it away from Palm. He'll take it back the other way. And Palm just levels Copeland, but he was going for the ball. He gets no basket, but the foul's going to be called. That'll be the third on Palm. Sixth on the Spartans, so the Cyclones will be in the bonus after this. Copeland's at the free throw line shooting 2. First one is good. Logan Ash checking in for Palm here for BPC. 2:05 to go in the basketball game. It's back to a 6-point advantage, 28-22 for West Prairie. Second free throw is no good, and then a Spartan went into the lane early. So Copeland, who almost got that one to fall, is going to get another chance here. That one didn't even get the rim, shorted that one, and it stays the same. It's a 6-point game, 2 possessions if you can make 2 threes, 2:03 to go. Spartans need some buckets here. Ruffin is harassed by Whitman. He gives it to Guppy. Guppy's going to drive. Get out to Ash. Ash loses it between his legs, and jump ball. Possession to West Prairie. You might have heard Coach Harrison over on the far side yell timeout as Havens is going to check in. Rhodes is going to check in. Rhodes is going to replace Lieb on the defensive end, so we may see some offensive-defensive substitutions by Coach Harrison here. 1:49 to go, 28-22 is the score. Chance to make it a three-possession game, which you would have to think with 1:40 to go would be a pretty big advantage for a 7th grade junior high team, but free throws can play a huge difference down to the stretch. 1:35 now as the clock continues to run. Flora with it on the right wing. And Whitman picked up, and Rhodes comes out and fouls him. Probably not when you wanted that foul. It's going to be a 1 and bonus. Rhodes is going to pick up his 4th. Lieb is going to check back in. And for West Prairie's Levi Gossage, he's going to replace Flora. 1 and bonus coming for number 22, Matt Whitman. First free throw is no good. McKim with the rebound. He's going to take it back the other way. Still a two-possession game. And his pass is taken away by Copeland. He's going to outlet it, but he's going to throw it away as Whitman can't track it down. Possession to BPC with 1:14 to go. Still a 6-point game. So within striking distance here, if you can get a couple threes. Palm going to check back in for BPCs. He's going to replace Havens, I think. Whitman on the steal, and he's going to be fouled by Ruffin. It'll be his second. Free throws coming for Whitman. Again, he missed the front end of a bonus attempt earlier. Again, misses the front end of a 1-and-1, and McKim again gets the rebound for BPC. Palm, a running jumper, is good. Cuts it to a 4-point game. Steal goes to McKim now. McKim's going to take it down the floor. And a foul is going to be called on the floor, charged to Whitman. On the floor, 14 fouls for West Prairie. 48 seconds, it's a 4-point game, 28-24. McKim has it inbounded to him, a jump ball, possession of BPC. Guppy had a good look into McKim that time. Now Rhodes is going to check back in. He's going to replace Lieb. Palm with it. He's going to put the jumper up. It's good. The 2-point game, one possession, 36 seconds left. Now DeCounter down the floor. Nice outlet pass and break as DeCounter gives the Cyclones a 4-point lead, 30-26, and timeout on the floor. I believe it's going to be charged to West Prairie. Nope, it's BPC. It's a full timeout. I'm going to bring you the contest here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, is Country Financial agent Shelly Poston. See Shelly Poston at Country Financial in Bushnell to learn more about protecting the things that mean the most in your life and get a start on a plan for a comfortable future. Contact Shelly Poston today at Country Financial, 309-772-3003. And Farmers and Merchant State Bank. For over 100 years, Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell has been servicing the local community's needs for personal and business banking, as well as home and agricultural lending. Stop by the main branch at 484 East Main Street or their drive-up facility on Cole Street to learn more. F&M is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. And at McDonough District Hospital, athletic trainers in the MDH Rehabilitation Center with locations in Bushnell, Macomb. They provide expert help to Spartan student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than a hospital care, a hospital caring. And now Guppy gets tripped, and it's going to be Eddington come up with the basketball. They lead by 4. Now it's going to be DeCounter again with a basket late. Stretches it to a 6-point advantage. A jump ball possession back to the Cyclones with 11.1 seconds to go. Checking in for West Prairie is Charlie Zimmerman. I got it right that time. I apologize about earlier. And number 4, Ruger Olson. Also in is Austin Nelson, Hunter Jackson. Whitman puts up the shot. It's off, no good. Rebound to Lee, but taken away by Ruger Olson, and a traveling's called with 1.1 second remaining. That's the end of the ball game. 32-28 is the score. 32-26. I gave it to the wrong team earlier. That's the reason why the score was wrong. I apologize. 32-26. It's a 6-point win for the Cyclones of West Prairie Junior High in this 7th grade contest, which turned out to be a very good contest down the stretch. It's time for the JoJo's Gaming Parlor post-game show. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also, on game nights, check out the TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events live on the big screen. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell, and cheer the Spartans on to victory. So the Spartans split today. The 8th graders get a big victory. The 7th graders fall 32-26 in what turned out to be a really good game down the stretch. So hopefully Coach Harrison will come over here and talk to us for a few seconds. Once again, we want to thank all of our sponsors, including Bushnell Banking Center. Bushnell Banking Center, located at 360 South Green Street in Bushnell. Hensley Grain, Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell, Webb Family Farms, M&B Furniture, Country Financial Agent Shelley Poston, of course, McDonough District Hospital, Heil Enterprises. Heil Enterprises and Heil Trucking can take your product down the road near or far, and also offers top-notch heavy-duty truck and trailer repair. The second-generation business continues to grow and continues to support BPC Athletics. Stop by and see Danny or Travis at Route 41 south of Prairie City, or call them at 775-3333. Of course, that's a 309 area code. We're waiting for Coach Harrison to come over and talk to us. Hey, Sam, you want to go remind him to see if he wants to come talk to us today? Thank you, sir. We talked about it after the game the other night. He may be waiting to make sure his kids get out okay, but we'll get him over here. Once again, you're listening to the post-game show brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor in Bushnell. Sam was about a third of the way over there, and Coach Harrison turned around and decided he'd come over on his own. If you want to take that, sir. If you want to hear me a little better. Well, I don't know if you want to hear me at all, but whatever the case may be. Well, Coach, a little more fun for everybody involved probably tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was, and that's what we're going for, right? We're just trying to get these guys an opportunity to get on the floor and compete. Like you said, we really didn't do that on Thursday night, but a lot of credit goes to the Macomb squad. They're so solid. They were so solid, and we look like a team who hadn't really been together on the floor in about a year, right? And so with limited practice time, we had done a great job really coming together. And last night's practice, it was fun, and a lot of the things from last night's practice showed up today, right, in both games. And that's the big deal, right, is that you see those things, you learn. Some of those things we didn't know we were going to make those mistakes until we had the opportunity to make them.
Right.
So spacing obviously was a big thing, moving, that kind of stuff. Obviously in the first game you could see how it comes together, right, guys? Let's remember these are basketball things that we have to do. So that was fun. And to see the second group compete, go for it, keep scrapping, they're going to keep getting better. Every time we get in the gym, quarter to quarter, we're going to see them get better. And that's all we're going to ask. I know the format is different for a lot of people going one way or another. But I think it's going to work. It's going to work for us and get us a chance to let them be competitive without just running them into the ground, only having so many guys to put on the floor. So it's been fun. I do want to thank you guys. This is outstanding. I appreciate it. You guys and all of our sponsors who are getting to put us out there. It's been neat to kind of experience it, from a different perspective, and so it makes a difference.
Everything's a different perspective right now, isn't it?
Yeah. And so, being on the floor is a lot of fun, but for you guys to be able to share that out to the community, I know there's a lot of pride in Spartan athletics, and so we really appreciate you doing this.
Well, you've been at the junior high for a while, coaching basketball. I don't know for how many years, but it seems like a long time. And have you ever had this few of kids between the two teams?
Oh, no.
No, I mean,
No.
you might have had you probably, when you started, you had to do tryouts, I would imagine.
Yeah, we did.
And things have changed a lot. I mean, COVID has something to do with it, but a lot of teams are down on numbers this year. But from a coaching aspect, that has to change a lot of how you normally would do things or how you react to stuff too, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Trying to get guys minutes and all that, it's different from trying to keep guys from running out of gas. And I think that's going to be the big fight. We actually had the discussion in practice last night. The idea of conditioning right now is something we'll have to manage because it's not something we're going to change, right? Playing, I think we're scheduled for 10 games in 16 days or something coming up. And so, the practice day in between games that's not time to get fit.
Right.
It's time to work on the basketball stuff. So those, as far as numbers go, that does make a difference. And kind of managing a game that way, to keep guys fresh and to make sure, you're just not gassed out. And I think we saw that on Thursday night, especially with our 8th graders, just out of gas. They played hard. But you can only play super hard for so long.
They looked a lot like the JV and the varsity teams did in their first 2 games. They played really well and tied at halftime. And then, you expect kind of maybe at halftime you get a little bit of rejuvenation. And they did for a short period of the third quarter, but then you could just see Macomb was in a little better shape, and probably because they've been practicing a little longer and they've been doing some things maybe on their own or whatever, and they just kind of ran you down a little bit in the second half. But I thought the kids looked to be, and I know you don't get to do much on conditioning, but they looked to be better game shape today. And BP and the Spartans, the varsity team, did the same thing. Once they got that break and they got to feel the game and kind of rejuvenate from that game, then they kind of know what to expect next time. And I think that's a little bit about what you were talking about. You learn the basketball stuff, but you also then you remember, okay, this is how I have to pace myself. This is how I have to handle myself, and that kind of helps too.
Yeah, exactly. Game management, even from a personal perspective, right? I think some of those kids, when they've been running, every day, everything, and that they know, the gas tank stays full a little longer, and I don't think they were ready to go as hard as you go in a game and then not be able to reach a little deeper and have anything in the tank. So, yeah, it does make a difference. It does make a difference. It's good to see them compete again, though. 3 out of 4 the last 2 nights isn't bad. I think maybe some were a little inspired by watching the varsity and JV last night. So.
Yeah, they played pretty well last night. A couple things before I let you go. You talked a little bit about how people see you doing things different as they watch. Traditionally, it's always been 7th grade first, just like JV first, and in 8th grade second or varsity second, kind of presented the same way. It's a little different for you guys this year because of your numbers. So for the most part, you're going to try and play 8th grade first because for all intents and purposes at the junior high level, 8th grade is varsity. Those kids are going to have to play. Some of the 7th graders are going to have to play 8th grade too, probably. So you get that first, the important, quote unquote, important game out of the way, which is varsity. I mean, whether to the kids playing and the parents watching, JV is important, but in all ultimate aspects of high school or junior high, 8th grade and varsity are the 2 that can compete. So you're playing that first. That's the reason why you're doing it. And then we see a few 8th graders have to play. Then one of the things you mentioned to me is I'm going to play these kids in the 8th grade, and then when some of the 8th graders have to play in the 7th grade, the other team sees that I'm not playing necessarily all the time my best 8th graders. I'm playing kids that didn't get to play as much, and that way everybody gets to play, but I have all the subs that I need for that 8th grade game.
Yeah, I think it kind of got me, it was like a reverse pickle today, right? Because now we get in a situation where we're up, And I'm looking, at the 7th graders going, yeah, this is a great time to get them sometime in the 8th grade game. And then in my head, I'm going, oh, but they're going to have to turn around and play a whole game right behind it. So it kind of got us today. But the idea is just like you said, kind of to be fair to the other team too. But also, as far as our squad goes, to be, as equitable as we can and sort of getting playing time across the day. If somebody gets really hot in that first game and gets all kinds of minutes, I'm not going to turn around and play them all kinds of minutes in the second game. We're going to look at spreading it out. And the other thing it does is it's the most fair to our younger guys, where we want them to get the most minutes they can get, but we also want to have an opportunity to support them and let, not run them out of gas, but let them be competitive as well. So yeah, it does. It's kind of like you said, it lets us have all those 8th graders available to play in, that 8th grade game, that varsity game, we'd call it. And then, and then we get to spread out and make sure everybody gets their time. And you can see, we're still trying to make sure that those 7th graders get as many minutes as we can in that second game. But we want to support them. We want to let them be competitive, feel what we felt tonight, right? We're still in this. We can fight. These are things we want to do. And I think some of it, because we're so inexperienced with those 7th graders, having it's almost just that other extra guy on the floor kind of calms them a little bit too.
Right.
And so that's kind of nice to see and to get to work with those guys that they work with every night in practice, and get it, just feels different for them, I think. So it's nice to do it.
Tell us about the 7th grade, because I've been told there's several kids on the 7th grade team that haven't really played a whole lot of organized basketball, and obviously none of them have really played with you a whole lot. So now, I mean, even if you played organized basketball, when you come to a new coach, the new coaching staff changes a few things here and there. But from my understanding, these kids haven't really played organized ball for anybody, let alone for you. So how different has that been for you, trying to get with this 2 weeks of practice and half of them snowed out and everything?
Right.
I mean, trying to get these kids involved in something that they've never really been a part of.
That's probably been the biggest challenge. It's allowed me to reflect on kind of how do we ordinarily get ready for a season. And usually we do, like you said, we would have a tryout, 3 nights of a tryout, you get everything set, and then we would have 8 practices before we stepped on the floor the first time. Well, we would go through a progression, of
right.
of this is where we start with our practices, and we just keep building and building and building. And the progression had to start in a different place, right, as far as what skills are we going to work on, what things are we able to manage. And so, yeah, we're kind of behind where we would be ordinarily. Hey, we're going to step on the floor for the first time, but we're going to see a lot of growth, and it's going to be game time growth,
right,
instead of practice time growth. And like you said, yeah, I think it was Wednesday was our first time in the gym since the Thursday before. Yeah. And so Thursday, I kind of expected to see Thursday what we did, but it was really nice to get in the gym, have a very pointed practice. Like, these are things that we're going to be better at tomorrow. And then, in the first half, and the boys behind me, coach, we're looking at each other going, practice matters.
Right.
Practice matters, because those things that these are our emphasis points, for practice tonight. All of those things in the first, 3-4 minutes of the game we're doing, and kids are going, hey, it works. And that's fun to see. It's fun to see it work more often and better.
And a little earlier, maybe?
Yeah. But, we've had, as far as new guys, new to the program altogether. A lot of years, we have, even our 7th graders are with us, and we start over, and there's some familiarity. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like, I think we had 3 of our 7th graders were with us last year. 3 are totally new to the program. 1's totally new to the school, right?
Right.
So we're still just kind of putting the pieces together and making everybody a part of the family, right? And enjoying the whole experience of playing junior high basketball, which we weren't sure 2 weeks ago we were going to get to do. So.
Right. The one kid I want to talk about, there's 2 actually. Palm played a very good game for you, especially late. He made some key buckets. Got you guys to within 2 with 30 seconds left. I mean, that's the way that game went for the first 2 3/4 quarters.
Uh-huh.
You have to be happy with that. The other kid, I know he's an 8th grader in the 7th grade game, but Ethan McKim, really, I felt like after watching the first 2 games and watching the 8th grade game tonight, he really came out of his shell in that 7th grade game, which might help you in the 8th grade a lot.
Absolutely. And that's, when you talk about kind of the format of our season and the way we're going to try to play it out, he's a great example of using game minutes to the best, that we can to benefit everybody in the program. And so to find guys and to get them confidence that way, it's great to see. Yeah, and he will. Now that he sees, he gets those opportunities to succeed. And so, yeah, he took advantage today for sure. And we're going to keep seeing that. He's going to keep getting better. Connor, we're still working. We know he's going to be a good player. We know he's going to continue to, get stronger and more confident. And those are things that with all our players, hey, you're a great shooter. We know you can handle the ball. We got to work on the confidence to do those things. And once you see that it works, right? Kind of like we talked about. These are things we work on in practice. We show up and they work. Then hopefully we see it more often in the game too.
If we could get all those kids to reach their growth spurt pretty quick, would sure help a little bit too. I mean, they were so outsized tonight. The fact that they were able to get back in that game. Now, granted, McKim helped them a little bit, but they all played hard. But they were West Prairie was so much bigger. Now, on 8th grade, you guys were pretty much the same size or a little bigger. But on 7th graders were so much bigger than your group. It was just amazing.
Right, and we're going to be undersized. Like it doesn't, and that's where having Ethan in there really made a big difference today. And yeah, we don't want it to look like volleyball or ping pong on the other side, where the other team just keeps shooting over us. And so
you almost need to put somebody like Ethan in there just to prevent that. I mean, just to fair it up for you guys a little bit, because it's not like the kids are trying hard, but when Ruffin, for example, that kid he's not even 4 foot tall, I don't think, is he? I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be mean. He's short, and he's out there, and Eddington swatted him once, and Ruffin went up as high as he could and threw it up, and Eddington didn't even have to jump, just wadded it into the top. I mean, the poor kid is, and he's out there playing his tail off, but these guys pretty much across the board are probably below average height for basketball players, at least.
They are, but I love their effort always. We had kind of with Darian, we had really last year he did play versus a 6th grader. Actually, he's grown a little bit from a year ago, but we'd put him on the floor, and you pick out the biggest number on the floor, and he'd go on the floor, and I'd say, "Hey, you've got 40." And he would look at me, and then he'd run to the kid and guard him. And that would just be what he did, and because he's going to give you everything he has, and that's great. And hopefully he will shoot up, and because he does have great ball handling skills. He is a good shooter. We just got to find opportunities. He's
got to be really open to get a good shot. That's the problem for him.
He gets himself into the lane. But now you're in the middle of the forest, and it's hard to see back out. So we'll get there, and that's where, again, experience is going to make a big difference, where he starts to understand how far is too far, right? And how do I create my space so I can get some baskets. So he'll keep learning. He's getting there.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get out of here. We probably talked longer than anybody wanted to listen to me talk. They've had to listen all game anyway. So we do appreciate you coming by. Stop by after every game, and we can talk a little bit and see what's going on. And hopefully it'll be after a 7th grade win here soon, too.
Absolutely. We're going to keep working for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we'll be back. When are we back? Tuesday night. We've got boys basketball of the high school variety here at BPC High School. And Sam will be back on the court instead of behind the camera and under the headset. So it's probably where he would more like to be anyway, right? So we want to welcome everybody that's become a sponsor again. We won't take the time here to say them all again, but we want to welcome them all aboard. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We hope that you enjoyed it. 32-26, Cyclones get a 7th grade win over BPC. We appreciate you all watching. You've been watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.